In Sudan, the last time they voted international council, in the UN, they voted to cease fire in Sudan and put in a foreign intervention, putting international army coming into Sudan, basically to stop the war in Sudan. And Russia voted against this. The only country, 15 countries voted for it, and only one country voted against it because it's one of the main member in the UN. Then it was not passed. And my sister called me yesterday. She was upset. She was like, "Oh, Putin is a horrible person to allow the war to continue in Sudan, and because he voted against it and stuff." But my sister doesn't know politics. She doesn't know. Excuse my French. That word about politics. She knows nothing. And she just reads something and she just go by it. I'm gonna tell you why he voted against that, putting a foreign army in Sudan, because Sudan is a wealthy country, has resources, have uranium, gold, and oil. And when the British wanted to put an army there, they want to take over the country. So when this base, if they passed this vote and they end up putting an army there, then they would not leave. They would stay there to guard their, will be similar to Iraq. Look at Iraq. Iraq is still oil tankers and resources leaving the, Iraq. And, so there is, every country they end up putting a base, then they will never leave. And until this day, war in Iraq has stopped how long? But they still continue to have Libya, the same thing. They put a base there, same horrible things happening to the people of the country, So when Putin voted against it, he's not because he hates Sudan. No, because United Kingdom removed from this vote, from this policy or this agreement, whatever the international agreement that is they were trying to pass through, stripping Sudan from their own governmental rights. Basically, the government of Sudan cannot decide for the country. Basically, only this foreign entity can decide for Sudan. You understand? Isn't it sound like slavery to me? It sounds like slavery to me, I think, because they're trying to sugarcoat it and make it sound like it's for the good of the country, but in reality they want to slave the country. They want to slave. If they come in, the war in Sudan will never end. They will continue, stripping the country from resources and stuff like that. This is how they get in. This is how they get in. They come in with this motive trying to help Sudan, but in reality they have a darker motive, and that's what I've told my sister. I said to her, nothing to see here. Do not be, saying that. She says to me, "Oh, Putin is a horrible person for him to do that." And that was I'm going to put a video of, how United Kingdom condemned Russia for doing that. And they say in Russia they're bloodthirsty. Give me a break. Is there more bloodthirsty than United Kingdom? Come on, give me a break, people. How many countries they invaded globally for resources? You know what I'm saying? Why there is 14, 15 countries of Commonwealth countries? Isn't it that's a slave system? You know what I mean? Isn't it? Still, these people have no right. All these 15 countries they cannot make their own decisions. You understand? We don't want to be part of that. Sudan doesn't want to be part of that. Before then, when the British were there, they asked, Sudanese government to be a Commonwealth country, and the Sudan says no. So we're not gonna make them come in, and then stay, overstay their welcome, whatever it is. You know what I mean? We don't want them there. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm telling my sister. You don't know anything about politics. She should not even have a discussion with me because she doesn't know what she's looking at. She just thought, oh, Putin is a horrible person, and he invaded, Ukraine, and he did this, he voted against Sudan, and he did it. You know what? It's not my problem. He invaded Ukraine, it's not my problem. You know what I'm saying? He voted against Sudan. I'm not condemning him because similar to how the, international criminal court, UN condemned him, the president of the UN, condemned him. They said, they would vote against peace. Well, if you put in a policy that Sudan government has the right to make decision, then Russia would have voted yes. Let's stop this. No, but you want to strip the government from the rights. They did Iraq, Libya. They want to go dominate countries under this grand deception, trying to help the country. They tried that with what do you call it? A lot of countries like Iraq, Libya, what else? What other countries? Syria, they're doing that, and what else? A few countries, they want to change the governmental structure, and they want it to kind of just stay. They want to stay under this, we're a peacemaker, we're there to help, we're here to save you from yourself. No, you're not there to help Sudanese. Save them from themselves. Who started this war anyway? These countries started this war, manipulating two entities. One of them is even not Sudanese. The other opposition is from Chad. It's not from Sudan. He's not from Sudan. When he talks, he's not from here. He sounds like a foreign entity. He's like he cannot come in and rule another country. Can I go to the United Kingdom and rule and take up, can I do that? You know what I'm saying? So if I can do that, then they can do that, right? But if I couldn't do that, then they have no right to do that to us. Okay? So Russia voting against this intervention, I agree with 100%. Even though I think it's all of them, these countries they're not our friend. Everybody's, trying to protect their own, whatever they're getting from Sudan, and so politics is very wicked. Politics is very wicked, a deceptive way to gain control over a country by deceiving the world what they're actually doing. Okay?